Hi there, it's Tamara with your December 2024 energy forecast. I have lots of notes from my peeps because that's the easiest way for them to talk to me so I could stay out of the way. This month we are going to be talking about riding the wave of this collective shift we're all going through, finding your community and redefining our world. Exciting times. Embracing your authenticity and your belief in yourself, navigating differences with openness and acceptance, and detaching from the need for external validation. And then a couple things about third dimensional shifts on Earth, which is usually how they kind of wrap it up. So, I will be doing some reading in this one just because, like I say, it's easier. I stay out of their way when I write it down. Okay, so there's actually quite this exciting energy in our collective right now. Some of you are all hyped up and some of you are really anxious, but this is what our peeps have to say. They say, if you are feeling this as anxiety, try and keep reminding yourself that all is well. Just get that affirmation. Everything's okay. Okay? They say things like we're just shifting all over the place. So it's always easier if you can embrace a shift instead of trying to fight a shift, because the fighting will just drive you bonkers. They said if you try and bring old stuff into this new energy, that will also cause the anxiety, kind of square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't work anymore. We've been closing out old karmic stuff, old soul contract stuff, calling back our own power. Another thing that can cause anxiety is when we feel like we're powerless, because we're not. You're not powerless. The outer planets are moving, and this means, like, when it's the outer planets, they change signs and all that. They move less often. And it often what they do bring is shifts outside, so bigger planetary shifts, okay? Our peeps say to remember it's for the good, even if some of these changes are causing discomfort with you, okay? They say to make a commitment to yourself to embrace your own personal growth right now, as where you are in your growth does impact this whole collective, right? And the collective's changing. So our next subject about the community, they say, although this month will be more about you, now is the time you may start to find kind of like your people, your community. If you kind of open yourself up to it, okay, the next years is going to be all about community, finding our community, coming together within our communities, okay? Collectively, we get to redefine our world, and peeps say there's strength in numbers, right? Like, none of us can do this alone. They've mentioned find your people actually in past recordings, but they're mentioning it again. They say with the Mercury retrograde, okay, and this is just how it works. Mercury's going to be retrograde for a couple more weeks yet. And it's not just all about communications breaking down. For a lot of people, that's not how it manifests in their life. But you may find that if you're normally really logical, you're getting a little bit more intuitive when Mercury's retrograde, and vice versa. So if you're the intuitive type, you may find you get a lot of things done. I don't know if you're getting ready for taxes, trying to just do paperwork or desk work or something like that, you may find you can totally rock that during a Mercury retrograde, okay? But our peeps say, no matter what, Go into the energy of your heart. What does your heart want? If you had no limitations at all, what is it you would want to be doing? What would you want to be feeling? And then they say, do that. Okay. So it's like, if you want to feel happy, listen to happy music, do happy things that make you happy. Okay. All of this will help create what you're getting next. Right. Now they actually said here, they said, seriously, drop the old ideas. Be committed to your goals. Be committed to your own growth, yours. Okay, not everybody else's. Everybody else is on their own path. If you've always thought you were kind of meant to be something, now's the time to step into that true potential of what it is you've felt like you always should be. They say it's never too late, even if you're older. They said, for example, if you've always thought you should be an author, then now's the time to start writing. Okay, we've got this energy of kind of going for it and change right now. They said you need to believe in yourself and act accordingly. You're coming into your own and who you were born to be in this world. And they also want you to realize that, this is almost changing subjects here, but your feelings aren't always facts, okay? We all have baggage feelings. If you have old baggage, you might feel something, but that doesn't mean it's true. And what they say is, like, if you were judged harshly by your parents, your teachers, your friends growing up, you might feel judged when you go out in the world, but that doesn't mean that you are being judged. It's this feeling that you're accustomed to of being judged. It's not a fact, right? Like, oh, that guy looked at me weird. And it's like, really, he was just thinking about his taxes, okay? They said, if you feel like the world is like a harsh place, that's not true either. That's a feeling. They said to look for examples of kind people and good things. There's an abundance of good in this world. And the more focus we put on that, the more we will see it, the more we will be surrounded by it, and the more it can flourish. Okay? They say, don't let your past define your future. We aren't all like the same. All of us humans have our own little idiosyncrasies and everything. When you are with other people who have different beliefs, it doesn't mean that you are right and they are wrong. Okay? Doesn't mean that you need to convince them of anything, nor do they need to convince you of anything either. Peeps say sometimes it's good to be with or spend time with someone or groups who are different. It brings you out of your box and out of your way of thinking, and it can actually give you new ideas, okay? It doesn't always mean you have to spend a lot of time with these people. It can just help you to see things a little bit differently and have an open mind. No need to fight, no need to even say, let's agree to disagree. Sometimes you just need to hear someone out and then you move on, right? You don't have to hang on to their stuff. They said if you want different ideas, listening to people who aren't you can open things up a little bit. I know for me, like when I was hiring an assistant, it's really easy to focus on, oh, look, that person's just like me, really intuitive, dominant, and things like that. And I realized I have to hire somebody who's almost the exact opposite of me. And my assistant was actually quite intuitive, but she was logic dominated. So it was very, very helpful. I might as well have done all the work myself if I wasn't going to hire somebody that was different than I was. Okay. So sometimes being around people who are polar opposites can be a really good thing for your growth. Okay, so when it comes to just be, okay, as much as we're accepting of other people, it's like you need to accept yourself as well, okay? Like in my past, I'd quite often try to justify or prove like that I could talk to dead people, or that the fact that I knew things was like a real thing. I was kind of on all the time, right? Like intuition on all the time. And now I just allow myself, like I just be me, okay? Like I'll do what I do, and I do get messages, and I just let them come if they come. But I don't try and prove things to people anymore, or it's funny, I've been out in say a group of people, and they'll ask what I do, and I'm a medium and a channel, and they're like, oh, I believe in that. And it always kind of makes me chuckle, because it's just a thing. It's like, I mow grass for a living, and it's like, oh, I believe in grass, right? Like it's just there. Anyway, but it's like the only time I need to prove anything is if I'm sitting with a client and the messages have to be specific to them, or if their loved one comes through, it's got to be specific enough that they know it's their loved one. Other than that, I don't need to prove anything to anybody, and neither do you. Okay, so just be you. You don't have to prove or justify your existence to anybody. I think a lot of you need to hear that. Okay, they're stressing it so much. It's like you're safe to be yourself here. Okay. If you be yourself, that's where you will find your community, right? Like if you're pretending to be something that you're not, and then you go out into the world, you're going to find people who are what you're pretending to be, instead of finding people who are like how you really are. Okay? So just love yourself. You're worth it. You're worthy. You may be different than most of your family or people that you went to school with, or whatever, but it doesn't matter. We're all different. Okay. So embrace that and love yourself. And if people judge, that's their issue. Okay. I just get that so strong. Now in the more 3D world, physical level. Okay. I've noticed this with me, some of my friends and family, and many, many clients, okay? Like for me, I was sleeping 10 hours a night, and I've gained 5 pounds, okay? I have recently been for a physical, and I am fine. But if you find you have been sleeping more, or you find like you're put on a couple pounds, my peeps have told me it's because we're birthing this new earth. And I'm like, oh, great, right? I don't want to sleep my life away, but we're also doing work while we're sleeping sometimes, and connecting in our sleep. So anyway, it's never a bad idea to have your physical body checked out, right? Like we do have our physicalness, and we do have to look after it. But you may have had super sleep disturbances, or if you're not getting extra sleep, maybe you just found yourself really, really, really tired, right? And perhaps you need to allow yourself some extra sleep time or a nap, okay? This is the first time in a year, maybe a little more than a year, where earth shifts and things with water haven't been at the forefront for kind of premonition-y things for the month. Now, I don't know if it's because we're getting a little hiatus from our earthquakes and floods and things, or if there's just bigger fish to fry right now. With Canadian politics, I'm pretty darn sure we're having an election in the spring. So yay, if it makes a difference. But if you've been waiting for that, it's on the horizon now. I did call it last June when I said Jugmeat was going to quit supporting Trudeau, and within a couple of months, he did pull that support. So, yeah, I think Canadian politics will be changing. More alien things are going to be dripping out there. My peeps told me this a while ago, but I've seen a few things over the past few days. It's still at its dripping stage right now. It's been dripping out there since the 1940s or something. It'll be up to the collective whether they want to notice it or be ready for it or not, because we will have more contact with other races from other planets over the next few years. So be ready. And for the record, it's not bad. Okay, if aliens were going to hurt our Earth, they'd have done it a long time ago. Okay, it's more of they've been waiting for a collective shift so as not to freak humanity out. Okay, so once we hit this certain shifty thing, then it'll happen. Okay. Yeah, so that's what our collective peeps, mine and yours, want us to know, to help ease us through December a little better. Yeah, so honor yourself. I know we've said that a lot. Yeah, so do it. And don't judge other people for honoring themselves. All right, just listen and move on. Yeah, so if you liked this and it was helpful, please hit the like button. If you want to see more from me, please hit the subscribe button. All of these things help with the YouTube algorithm, and I'm trying to bump up my channel a little bit here and share with more people and stuff like that. So yeah, until next time, much love and have fun with these December energies. They can be good.